been in the playoffs, being up a game, how much do you guys talk about just not being satisfied as a group and to keep applying that pressure?
I mean, we just have honest conversations of just the type of energy we have to bring into the game, and also just being aware that we're playing against a great team, and we want to respect the other group, and I think that's most important, is just respecting your opponent and giving the game what it needs. So just getting prepared, make sure you're rested, making sure the strategy is ingrained in your head for tonight, and just be ready for a war-like environment, very loud and very physical.
Kyrie, you and Luka have talked about how you guys have formed your guys' relationship. How much did having a championship-winning and a former superstar coach kind of like guiding that building of the relationship also help?
It makes things a lot easier. We don't take our skill sets or talents for granted. We understand that comes from God, that comes from a spiritual source. So when we get a chance to express how we feel about each other, we're very authentic, we're very honest, and I think that translates on the court. A lot of our closeness starts on our relationships as brothers off the court, and then it just makes it easier to go out there and compete. We just respect each other's skill sets, like I said.
How do you feel about the coverage that they got on you on defense last game, and the difference between first half and second half for you?
It was a great first half. Felt like I was just pacing the game a little bit and just making sure we got up the floor. I was understanding that they were coming off a Game 7, so they could have been a little fatigued, but we just wanted to stay aggressive and make sure that we took advantage of the easy opportunities. And in the second half, I like to say that Luka joined the party, my teammates joined the party, and when we're playing well like that, it goes a long way in terms of just our poise and just being comfortable in the game. We understand we're going against a great team, like I said, but we just got to keep staying aggressive and make sure that they feel us as well.
Kyrie, there's been a lot of these games where you were the one joining the party in the second half as far as scoring goes. Is there a priority or an emphasis on you being more aggressive early on and being a tone setter?
No, it's just like the same way in the last series and also in the Clipper series, just being able to flow into the game and not overthink it, and whatever the game shows me, just being able to utilize my skill set, my talent to offer my teammates some peace of mind out there. I can score with the best of them, like I said, but some games I'm just going to be needed to play a different role, and that's okay as well. That's just part of the growth of our team, and part of our identity is just being able to adapt and adjust well on the fly.
How do you think? I think you and Drew Holiday are the last one standing that already have a ring on the playoffs. So how do you think that affects the Dallas for better?
It gives us experience. I feel like I use my experience very well, just being able to communicate with the guys and let them know what type of environment we're going into. But at the end of the day, they got to get their experience too, and I think that's the fun part about competition is, you can obviously have a veteran presence, but until the young guys go through it, they have no idea what it's like. So I think that's what we're in the process of doing is just having fun, competing at a high level, and then whether mistakes happen or not, we're still living with each other, and that's the sentiment with our group is we win together and we lose together, and just being ready to be mature about the approach. We're going into a hostile environment tonight, so we got to look forward to it.
Kyrie, their ball pressure, Minnesota's ball pressure has impacted a lot of guards in these playoffs. What is it about you and Luka that kind of allows you guys to navigate that?
I just feel like it's our threat to be able to go to the basket from three-quarter court and be able to speed up the court and bring their bigs further away from the basket. I think in the other series they had guards that were very aggressive, but we're a little bit different, in terms of how we like to attack and how we like to play off each other, me and Luka, and I think that we have a good mix of just not playing your turn, my turn, but just creating opportunities for not only ourselves but for our teammates. So whenever we're doing we're making the right basketball plays, it's just a beautiful game to watch and a beautiful game to be a part of.
When you're navigating kind of the emotions of a series, I know you don't want to get too high or too low with that, but how do you not? How do you regulate to make sure you're not swinging to extremes?
By not treating the game of basketball very extreme. You know what I mean? It is the Western Conference Finals. Aware of the environment that we're in, extra media coverage, a lot more responsibilities that you have to be aware of in order to prepare. But this is a time where you eliminate a lot of those distractions and you eliminate a lot of the extra fluff, and you just go in your room and you really focus on what you want to accomplish, and that's that time of the year to do so. There's only 4 teams left. Family should understand, media should understand, and I think that's what comes with this. So I try to use my experience of being at the highest level or the finals or the conference finals as a litmus test, as a stress test, and be able to coach my guys better alongside J-Kid and the rest of the coaches, and be an extension of those guys, but also understand that I'm still learning myself as a student of the game. So just having fun with that process too, just figuring it out.
You just said your turn, my turn, describing how you and Luka are not like that. What is your turn, my turn kind of look like, and how do you guys avoid that? Just kind of break down that cliche.
Your turn, my turn basketball I like to use the example of, you make it easier for the defense to guard you. You make it easy for the defense to scheme against you. When you have 2 premier scorers on a team or 3 premier scorers, right, you're trying to make it work, and it's your turn, my turn. Sometimes as a player, you can lose sight of the rest of the court and what's going on, and also your impact on the other ends of the floor. So it's really just about getting that out of your head. That's like, I like to compare it like 5th grade, 6th grade basketball, where you get it one time, and then I get it one time, and then when things don't work, we try to give it to somebody else who hasn't shot in 6 minutes because we've been shooting the whole time. But yeah, just that's the growth that I've had, is just being aware of how the game of basketball is supposed to be played, and really appreciating the guys who came before me that showed me the formula and have been teaching me that it's about a team game. And the more that you get out of your own way and you become more selfless, the more opportunities come to you. So go ahead.
So as long as you guys are making each other better with or without the ball.
Yeah, and it's not just us, it's everybody. And I don't know that we get kind of this phrase that it's a duo and me and Luka are leading it, or Luka's number 1, I'm number 2. I think we've tried our best to distance ourselves from that as much as possible, because we want to be remembered as a great team and known as a great team, and that's how we share our success as a team.
How did you go about?
Did you think of like other great guards that were, combinations, like when Earl Monroe, say, I don't know if you remember when he was traded to the Knicks from Baltimore, and how that worked, and because if you wanted to make it work, it will work. Was that the philosophy kind of that you took toward that?
You said if you make it, if
you want to make it work, you'll make it work.
Yes, but it also takes experience and taking some teaching, and also failing together. When you put guys together, sometimes it doesn't mesh well right away, and I think, I've included myself just as a competitor, and also seeing a bunch of my peers and going through different organizational transitions. I think some people give up too soon, and obviously you can have a 3-year run, a 4-year run, but I think people give up too soon in the first year, 2 years. You're trying to put pressure on guys to be very successful right away. And I think that's unhealthy, man. I think that you got to give people grace and allow the transition to happen organically and allow the talent to mesh. So that's how I like to look at it. It's just, these are my brothers for lifetimes off the court, but when we get on the court and we have this moment, I try to also elaborate that don't take this for granted. It's not too often that you're going to have a guy like me or Luka being able to play together, and other guys, D. Jones picking up, PJ be traded at the right time, Gaff be traded at the right time. A lot of things had to go right for us to be in this position. So I try to mirror that reflection of just not taking it for granted and giving guys grace to grow into their roles. But when you have other guys that are willing to be selfless, it makes the goal a lot easier.
Kyrie, so Ant is one of the faces of the league, and he's so young, and he said he wanted to guard you one-on-one.
Yeah.
So as you are a competitor, veteran guy, does that extra motivated you because you were on fire on the first half?
Yeah, when I said it was extra motivation, it wasn't anything personal against Ant. It was just more or less us now growing up in the league, and me being in my 13th year, him being in his first few years as well, and being ultra successful. That's the familiarity I have with a lot of these young guys, is coming into the league with a lot of pressure and answering that call. I had the great opportunity to win a championship in my first 5 years. So I accomplished things that a lot of guys didn't get to accomplish, and I know what that takes, and you have to have that no fear mentality. So that's what Ant has, and it just makes me better. So I'm appreciative that he's able to push me at this age, but I'm also able to push him and inspire him. Yep. Thanks, Seth.